Hi, I'm Chris Grainger. Welcome to Blackbird Studios, Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, so this is the main tracking room in Studio A at Blackbird. We put the drums right about this area here, mainly because we wanted to be able to put up as many microphones as possible in the room and be able to take advantage of the size of the space and also the number of ambient microphones that we were able to place in the room and hanging from the ceiling. Originally, this was John and Martina McBride's studio. From what I understand, originally for Martina to do some recording in, and then it kind of blossomed from there into what it is today. And it's come to be known in the studio community as kind of the mecca of recording and gear. Anything you can imagine you'd want to use is here. Well, originally we started setting up the drums, listening to them in the room, and then we started talking about where we wanted to place the microphones in the room. And I had joked with some of the guys earlier because they hadn't been here yet, and knowing that there was going to be such a huge selection of microphones, I was joking, well, we should just put C12s on all the toms. And they were like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. We get here, and then I ask how many C12s we have. And he said, well, as many as you want. And then we just started looking at what was available, and we walked in the mic locker, and everybody's jaws hit the floor. No one said anything. So this is the infamous mic closet here at Blackbird. So we started pulling microphones, and some of the serial numbers are 1, and some of the successive serial numbers of things, and being able to put up a Decca tree, which is used in classical recordings. The M50s that we used on the Decca tree. And these are amazing sounding omnidirectional tube mics. 600 ever made. And you guys have how many? 10. I rest my case. So I think what we were really after was that we wanted a very natural acoustic sounding type of kit. And at the same time, using a studio that would allow us to get almost that exact representation of having a drummer sitting on the throne playing into the room. So we actually put microphones on his ears facing towards the kit, and when we pulled those up, the amount of detail that came into the cymbals and the ambience of the overall kit completely changed the way we were looking at it. And then we started pulling up all the channels here on the console, and then it just sounded unbelievable. So we just decided, well, let's just keep putting microphones up and we'll have more options than we want to use, and we ended up using all of them. The drums were kind of a collection of sorts. We had more of a traditional, like smaller jazz type kit that Pearl Drums here in town allowed us to borrow and use. And they actually sent Raymond Massey over from Pearl to tune the kits for us and work with Future Man on recording some of the sounds and getting the drums tweaked the way we wanted them to be. And then some of the drums were also the personal collection here at Blackbird. So we were able to really kind of go through the drum locker, which until we walked in there, we had no idea what, what we were really getting into. And then it was almost like, well, how do you choose? Because everything here is amazing. Here's where you can see we had trouble choosing. So we started to kind of narrow it down, and then from what we understood, once we got in here, John McBride had just purchased a bunch of drums for Matt Chamberlain, who is a renowned studio musician, and he brought in this giant 28-inch marching drum that he had bought years ago. So we were like, well, we got to use that. So that ended up making the kit as well. Like other projects that I work on, the degree of patience really comes into play when you're dealing with this level of perfection. You want everything you want it to be a performance, but at the same time, you want it to be done correctly. So knowing that we were doing this library on this level of kind of dedication and listening to the fact that, okay, now we've got sounds that we haven't heard before, let's do more zones. Let's do more level of how quiet is quiet, how loud is loud, to the fact where he actually broke a kick drum pedal from hitting the drum so hard.
Last hit, I was off the Billy Cobham. I was trying to break the head. And I
Do we have that still?
Yeah. Oh, the very last hit is the one where it broke. And you'll hear it when the last hit, I'm popping it.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, and this little thing comes out. I was like, I was going to do a few more, but that was it.
To us, it was like, okay, well, this is hopefully the next level. This is maybe going to push people to get to another place with the way that they're approaching recording these kind of libraries. And to me, I feel lucky to be a part of something like that because I got to see it happen, and knowing that, man, we're actually going to need a couple of more days to do this library because of the level that it's going to. Once we started putting the library in place, we realized that this is not just a jazz library. It's going to be used for anything you can imagine. And I'm incredibly impressed at how well it turned out.